Good day, folks. Today on the bench we're going to tie you up the Guide's Choice Nymph. It's a very popular fly, and we're going to do a few different materials on here just to show you a couple variations, and I'm sure this is one you're going to want to take on the water with you. I know it is a very, very popular pattern with many anglers all across North America. Make sure you have the materials ready to tie the fly. We're going to start with a 2x long Gamakatsu hook. This is size 12, 2x long, and with the beads we'll use some 7/64 copper beads. To complement that, I'm going to use, for the ribbing, I'm going to use some copper. This is glitter thread. You can use wire if you like. This has got a little more, stands out a little bit more. There's also some fine extra small silver wire for the collar, some lead. I'm just going to put a couple turns 015 lead in behind the bead, and we're going to use for the body just some hare's ear dubbing. For the collar on one of these flies, I'm going to do two different versions. I'm going to do the one with the fur collar. This is actually a material I got from Doug Swisher many years ago, Rub-a-Dub, hare's ear, and check that out. It's got some rubber leg material in there. Doug has fished New Zealand for many years and very successful at some of his patterns, and Carl Richards are very well known for smaller patterns. I'm going to trick out the Guide's Choice with just a little bit of this hairtron and on the thorax, just in behind my hackles. And on one fly I'm going to use the actual Guide's Choice uses some of this very nice partridge hackle for the collar. So let's do a couple of these in two different methods. You'll see whatever works for you. I'd like to use both of them actually. They both, I wouldn't say one's better than the other. It's just something that it's quite interesting to have a look at. The thread is just an 8/0 red thread. So I got my bead on the front. I'm just going to put about 5 or 6 turns of lead on here behind that. That'll fit in behind my bead and just stop it from sliding back. Then I'll get my thread in behind on the lead there just to hold everything in place. Dress the hook, the thread as we always do. Tailing materials, I'm just going to use some, this is just some soft hackle off the partridge skin, or you can use some hen hackle, whatever you like. Tie that on. Just going to get this off the center here. Does not swim. I'm just going to pitch that tip off there. Get my fibers here. I can just pull them. I can show you that after I got my tip out. Really nice and even. Make a turn on the back here. Get a turn in behind. Gap length. That's good. And just wrap my butt of that hackle down. In the back, grab some of my glimmer thread. Just so many materials available nowadays. Possibilities are endless, so you can always see these really good patterns, and sometimes you'll have some of your own little ideas that you want to try out. And steps outside the box sometimes. Try them out. Nothing wrong, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and you'd be surprised what the fish will eat sometimes. Okay, so we'll just grab some hare's ear dubbing. I'm going to form my body with that. Get it started here. It's fairly thin dubbing on my thread. You can just roll that on fingers what you normally do, or use your dubbing wax. This just makes my body a little buggier. Glimmer thread. I like this copper and copper head, Copper is a very, very good color. Use a lot. And on the front, we can go with this one. I'm just going to trick that out. Put my little, this is just burnt orange Antron dubbing. I'm just going to put that in behind my my collar. Now, let's go here with different method. Nobody's really used this much. This hair's here, and here there's the rub-a-dub. All right. So I'm just going to put my little bit of Antron in behind. Just gives it a nice little coloration. In behind, you'll see a little bit of that, mostly when it's wet. Now this dubbing, we can do a couple things. You can use a dubbing loop. You can roll it on, just get a nice pinch like so, and then take a soft loop all the way around. Okay. Then pull it back and get your thread. We want to make sure we see this nice red thread. Put lots in behind the bead. Tie that off. Some of these rubbers get a little bit long, some of it, or whatever. If it gets a little thick, some of this hair, just pull that out. Trim her down a little bit. Some of this rubber legs are a little bit long, but I have used this in small little tiny nymphs in very clear water. And when I hear flies that work really well in New Zealand, well, that's the first thing I think about. Those fish are about as fussy as they come, so that's a great idea. So there's your fur collar. A little bit, I got a little less on the bottom. You can, maybe didn't roll that quite enough here. I can get some more down, preen that out. But that's one version of the guide's choice. Let's try the other with the soft hackle collar, which is the original tie. There again, let's go and get a little bit of our thread on the base again and behind to hold that bead. Pinch that on. Get our thread in behind, tie it over the thread a little, or over the lead a little bit, and then go in behind here, dress the hook, grab ourselves some tailing materials, and have trouble getting that one selected off there right. I kind of lost that, so bear with me. Little tip up here. I don't swim. I'm just going to pinch that off. Take my hackle. You can go off each side if you want, but this also works. Keeps it nice and straight. Your tips are aligned pretty nice. Take a turn in behind. Gives you a pretty nice tail. And going forward over the butts again of the hackle. Trim off the excess here. Then I'll go to my glimmer thread again, wrap that on. Get that right to the bend. Now we're going to go in there with our hairs here again. Just the natural hairs there. There's no synthetics in this at all. Just straight hairline, hairs here dubbing. Change these. This is the color it's really shown in all the time, but I'm sure you can try some different colors if you wanted. Okay. Now I've got a bit of a taper in there. Pretty buggy though, and I do like buggy nymphs. I don't think you can get a nymph too buggy in my opinion. Fish really like it. You notice a lot of times you get a fly that gets chewed up a little bit and it starts working better than it did before. So there you go. Now we're just going to take a little pinch of our hair on here. This, you can use any accent color. I just use something a little bright, kind of another little something they can see down there. You can use ice dub in here too. I've done that, and that's really nice too. And behind, that's just a little trick of this guide's Choice Nymph. I just added that little on there myself. But now we're going to get go into our skin here of our partridge. This is really, really nice material. Go in here, select nice feather. They have a natural curve to them. We're just going to preen that fuzz off the bottom. Get that out of the way. Then I just grab it by the tips and I fold my hackle back off the stem perpendicular and always tie it in by the tip at the front. Cut that tip off. Grab a hackle plier. And we'll take some turns. See how that natural, when I put that on there like that, I don't have to fold it or anything. That hackle's actually going on there nice and straight. Now I just finish it off. Let's get that red thread showing on there. That finishes off the slide quite nice. And that's more of the standard type Guide's Choice Nymph, other than I added that little orange highlight in behind, which I think looks really, really good. And this partridge hackle swims like nothing other than this, the speckled appearance of that. This is a really killer nymph. Rivers, lakes, streams, anywhere you want to go, you can tie in different colors. I'm sure it's always been shown in hare's ear. It's one of them go-to flies that I'm sure why they call it the Guide's Choice. They all have it for their clients and they fish it hard. So good luck with that one, and we'll tie these up for the store as well. So talk to you later.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.